Good morning, students. We have already completed the chapter Odysseus, but I'll give you a short summary once again before we continue with the reference to context. I hope you remember the story is about Odysseus, who was a Greek hero, who was a Greek hero, and he was returning from his war, from the battle of Troy, and he was looking for his kingdom, that is the place that is Ithaca. He was looking for it, and for 10 years he had been wandering. So while he was wandering around, he came to this place where this enchantress lived, Cis. There, finally, she was the one who changed his men and turned them into swine. But later on, just because gods were on Odysseus' side, he was able to save his men. And Odysseus is the same woman or the same enchantress who even kept them in her castle, not against their will, but of course in her castle for a year, and she wanted to do that so that she could make amends. She could make the changes, whatever wrong she had done to them. So she was just trying to be nice. So they stayed with her for a year, and after that, they all went home. Now, when they went home, they even requested Circe to guide them so that no danger could actually fall on them. Right? So let's continue. We've done the first 4 questions. We have discussed them in the previous video. Right? So let's continue with the next one. Reference to context here. The first one, let's see that. Light the fires. I'm sure you remember these lines were spoken by Odysseus while he was talking to his men. Who's the speaker? We all know that the great Greek hero Odysseus is the speaker of the above lines. Why did he ask his men to light the fire? He wanted his men to light the fire so that they can take a break, they can stay there on that island, and then of course so that he could get something that they can cook and eat. Right? There's one more reason, earlier for lighting the fire was so that they can keep the wild animals away. Okay, let's see. Why did he decide to come back to the ship? He decided to come back to the ship. Why is it is given here? Because it was safe there. See, he actually walked a little far, but then he thought that let's stay here next to the ship rather than going into an unknown island. He even got a stag. Okay, let's see that. How did he get food for his hungry men? See, it is given here. Odysseus, while coming back, he noticed a stag. He thought the gods must have led him to his beast. Okay, you can write the answer that, while coming, Odysseus went to see if the place was safe enough, and while he was coming back to his men, on his way back, he saw a stag. He thought that maybe gods are being nice to him, and he killed the beast and he brought the beast so that they can cook and have dinner. Right. So stag was there for the dinner. See the second one, B part. Why this beast is as tame as a dog, said a sailor. You remember that they were in Circe's castle. Where are the speakers? The speakers are, okay, first of all, these speakers are the other men with Eurylochus, right? And they were standing outside where? Circe's castle. Who's the singer? The singer was Circe, the enchantress. How does she welcome the men? She actually welcomed them. How she welcomed them? See here. When these men they came there, the doors of the palace opened. And of course, the next moment, Circe, the enchantress, came out and invited them to enter. Right? The men were at once bewitched. She bewitched them, she actually used magic, and a great feast was set before them. Right? This is how she welcomed them. They eat in their innocence and they all turned into swine with pig heads and bristles and noisy grunts. Okay, what happens to the men afterwards? This is that part that I said here. You can write this part here. Circe invited them in. When, in their innocence, they ate and drank the wine and were immediately turned into swine with pig heads and bristles and noisy grunts. This part is your third answer. However, their minds were as human as before. Right? Come to the C part now. Quench your thirst. Greek, whither art thou? These lines were spoken by whom? Circe. You remember? These lines were spoken to Odysseus. Who's the speaker? Who is she talking to? Okay, the question is already here. Circe, the enchantress, is the speaker of the above lines, and she spoke these lines to Odysseus. Okay, how did she try to enchant her guest? What she did, see, it is given here. As Circe passed the cup to Odysseus, she dropped something into the drink, right, so that she could bewitch him. Why was she not able to succeed in her design? She was unable to do that, while she passed the cup unnoticed by her, Odysseus dropped his charm into the cup. This charm was given to him by god Hermes, and this was what? A white flower with a black root called moly, which would keep him safe from Circe's magic or sorcery. This is it. So we have these three references to context. Please do them in your notebooks. Okay. Now I've got a question. Okay, there's one chapter of the poem, The Summer Water, the Ballad of the Summer Water, and few of you were asking for the question and answers of it. Just do one thing. They are one-line answers. I will let you know if you have to write the answers. It is easy. Who gave the beggar food? So there was only one line. There's only one line answer. So please don't worry about it. I'll get the answers for you. It's only I'm sure you can write these answers in your own words. Right? It's just one line answers. Now somehow we have completed this chapter as well. We've completed this story, and after this we do have another stories. I'm sure you must have received your syllabus and your timetable, right? We'll start with a new story in a minute.